The City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas will meet in a regular meeting in City Hall Council Chambers located at 1716 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, on Tuesday, July 25th, 2023 at 6:30 p.m. Call to order.
Burns here.
Evans here.
Jacobs here. Key here.
Foster here.
We have a quorum. Stand for the invocation.
Heavenly Father, wash us clean of anything that we may have done or said or thought that was not pleasing to you. Lord, wash us clean and let us proceed with this meeting in this chamber with the best interest of the city and the citizens in mind. Let anything conceived in darkness be brought to light. Let only truth be spoken in these chambers. We ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. Now we'll follow with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Could be
We've established a quorum. Citizens' comments. The purpose of this item is to allow citizens an opportunity to address the city council on items that are listed on the agenda or issues that are not listed on the agenda. Any person desiring to make a public comment must first sign in the podium at least 10 minutes prior to the start of the meeting and be recognized by the presiding officer. Individual citizen comments are limited to 3 minutes. The presiding officer may ask the citizen to hold their comment on an agenda item until that agenda item is discussed. The City Council has no obligation to respond in any manner. Comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information. A recitation of existing policies or direct to staff for follow-up. We've got 3 or 4 people that'd like to speak. We've got the American Legion, Post 310. Is it Bill Mitten or Melton? You can come up.
The podium.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Bill Milton, and I've recently been elected as commander of the American Legion Post 310. And first off, I would like to thank all of you members for your services to the community. We share that in common. Our post has got over 300 members, both Legionnaires, auxiliary units, sons and families, and Legion riders. And we're very community-oriented. We range in age from 28 years. We have 3 people who are still on active duty, and we go up to 2 members who are Korean War veterans, 90 and 91, and they still attend meetings. So we're an active little group. I would like to do 2 things: offer our assistance to you, and hopefully you can offer assistance to us. If any of you receive phone calls from veterans or anyone vaguely related to the military that needs assistance of any kind, give us a call. Refer them to us. Call us and we will call them. Okay? That's essentially all I wanted to do, was to ask for your help in letting these people know that we're over there. I do have one question. I am not personally a resident of this fair community. I live out in the county. So I went online to see how it's organized, and I gather you have a mayor, city manager form of government with 5 places for city council. I could not find a map or anything to determine where the American Legion is if we have a particular representative, what place it would be. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but if you could refer me to who might be able to answer that. Our post is physically located on Highway 198, right before the big bridge going to Payne Springs. right across the street from Hoot and Holler. Everybody knows where that is.
Yeah.
Okay. So if anyone can give me information about what place in the city council that would be, I will deal with them directly.
Okay,
That's all I have, and I just want, again, thank you for your service.
thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You said refer them to you, have them give you a call?
Yes, I'll give you the phone number for the American Legion. It is 903-887-3532.
Thank you.
And you can just tell them to ask for the service officer or just explain what their problem is. Whoever answers the phone will get them in touch with the right individual.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Coming.
Our next speaker is Amaris Faith.
Amaris Faith, 155 Pine Bloom. In recent history, the City Council passed an emergency declaration and extended it long after the facts that negated the emergency were public knowledge. City Hall and the policing force violated constitutional rights because of an irrational fear based on that false emergency. More recently, an ordinance was passed limiting the free speech of constituents under the guise of business development. A citizen was escorted out of a public meeting because her message and tone did not align with the city's restricted policy on free speech. I have encountered a culture that suspends citizens' constitutional rights and cherry-picks which ordinances will be enforced, when they will be enforced, and who they will be enforced against. A culture that, in effect, invalidates the whole law because it governs by feelings and not by rule of law. When that culture is challenged on any level, the standard response is to shift the blame, move the goalposts, and victimize the victim. Suppressed information and opinions are the foundation of governmental tyranny. At least one of you campaigned on more transparency, yet here we are with a proposal for less. I'm here tonight not because I have nothing else to do, but because I believe it's an imperative that we have a freely operating Constitution of the United States and a highly functioning city council that lives or dies defending the Bill of Rights. I'll leave you with this story. A man was paid a princely sum to curse the king's enemy. On the way to do so, the donkey he rode balked 3 times and turned aside. Each time the old man beat the donkey. Finally, the donkey spoke. "Why are you beating me?" "Because you make me look like a fool." Then the old man saw the angel with the drawn sword. "If your donkey had not turned aside," said the angel, "I surely would have killed you for accepting that bribe." The moral of the story is, sometimes even a stubborn old jackass is more righteous than the man in charge. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Will. Keith Bond.
My name is Keith Bond. I live at 262 Overlook Trail, and I might get a little emotional. I'm here to celebrate the life of one Miss Patsy Black. If y'all haven't had the pleasure of meeting Miss Black, she was one of the original authors of our city charter. She knew the charter frontwards and backwards. She helped educate me on many things. She passed away this past Saturday. She was a faithful volunteer, I believe, between all the various boards that Miss Black sat on, and had the people who got to serve with her had the honor of knowing her. Probably spanned 20 years. She was a little firecracker. If you ever, most people that met her knew that Patsy, when she spoke, she didn't pull punches. She spoke her heart. There will be a visit. Kelly, you're going to get me going. There will be a visitation for Miss Black this Friday, July 28, 2023, from 6 to 8 p.m. The funeral service will occur on Saturday, July 29th. She will be laid to rest at the Wrestling Memorial Park in Greenville, in Greenville Avenue in Dallas. I recommend anybody who's volunteered, anybody that would, go visit with her family and her friends. And just, if we could, I'd like just a moment of silence for Miss Patsy Black and her service to Gun Barrel City.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Keith, do you know where the visitation's at? Oh, you may.
Okay.
Oh, you bet, okay.
Okay. 1A, consent agenda. Well, I've got another public speaker, but she wants to speak on 2A. Consent agenda. I just want to bring to everyone's attention, there's a new item on the consent agenda, and it's under planning. And it tells the citizens what all is going on in Gun Barrel, the new businesses that's coming in, and the steps they're taking to bring them in. All matters listed under consent agendas are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussions of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Consider approving the following reports: Code Enforcement, Courts, EDC June 2023 Financials, EDC June 2023 Minutes, Fire, Interim City Manager Report, June Financials, Meeting Minutes, May 16, 2023, Meeting Minutes, May 22nd, 2023, Permits and Inspection, Planning, Police, Dispatch, and Animal Control, Streets and Park Maintenance. Do I have a motion?
He moves that we accept the consent agenda.
Burns, second.
We have a motion and a second to accept the consent agenda. A vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Got them passed. All right, new business, oh, wait. Been asked to move 6A grants up. So 6A is discuss and or take action to adopt resolution number R 2023-010, designating authorized signatures to act as city executive officers and authorized representative in all matters pertaining to the city participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant, contract number CDV 21-0086. And the resolution, an updated resolution to the City Council of City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, designating authorized signatures to act as the city's executive officers and authorized representatives in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant, Texas CDBG contract number CDV 21-0086. City managers, do we have someone here to represent that community block grant? And you all have any questions?
Hi, I'm Wanda Vance with Trailer and Associates. We're your grant consultant for this grant. And does anyone have questions about the signatory resolution? It just authorizes personnel from the city to sign documents for the grant. The original one that was done in the application only had mayor and city manager. So in discussion with the city and the Department of Agriculture, they recommend at least 3 people, and there was only 2. So we have added the mayor pro tem and added a second person for Mike Howell as the project director.
Okay.
And those are positions, not the person's actual name, so that if someone leaves and another one comes in, it can just be changed out easily.
Could you give some background on what this grant is?
It is for the drainage on Longleaf Drive. An application was put in for the city probably in '21, so it's been sitting here waiting to be funded. It's gotten second-year funding. And when you put them in, they fund half of them the first year and half the second. So when it was put in, y'all had different people in place, and things have changed quite a bit. But it's that there's a drainage that goes off Longleaf toward the lake, and there's been a lot of erosion, and I guess caused the city a lot of problems. Your engineer, SBI, has been working on the plans to do this project. It includes a little street work as well. And we've been working on all the documents that are required for the grant, the environmental, which has been, because of the area it's located in, really lengthy. And so we're trying to wrap up all the documents needed to get moving forward. The next process after all this will be the bidding for someone to actually do the construction, but it'll be a few months.
Thank you.
Is there any more questions? Okay. So do I have a motion to take action to adopt Resolution R 2023-010? Who? Oh, okay.
I'd just like to reiterate what she said. There's massive erosion going on. We temporarily fixed the roadway edge last year to try to help that, and there's 8 homes currently being affected, or not the homes, their land and property are being affected and washing away. On that one particular area, there's much more erosion going on as well, but this is going to solve the majority of that problem and fix that roadway edge the right way instead of a temporary fix.
That's good.
Thank you.
I do know they need it. Okay, now,
Foster moves to adopt Resolution R 2023-010, designating authorized signatories to act as the city's executive officers and authorized representatives in all matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant Contract, number CDV 21-0086.
Key second.
we've got a motion and a second to adopt Resolution Number R 2023-010. Vote to my left.
Burns, yes?
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.
We've got a motion and passed. 6B, presentation of Section 3 of the Housing and Urban Development Act of 1968 for the CDBG contract, CDV 21-0086, street and drainage improvements. Ernie or Vivian, Ms. Vance, do you want to speak on that?
I believe you have in your packet a little brochure that's the presentation regarding this Section 3. And essentially what this is the state wants to make sure that the city, the council is aware that the Section 3 requirements for this grant. And what this is that you will make every effort to hire Section 3 residents, Section 3 businesses, which we do all that. We make sure that all the paperwork that goes out has that information in it. For example, when we go out to bid this, if you notice in the documents, we've been hired, your engineer's been hired, and then pending is your contractor for the project. So in his packet, he gets all this information about, well, the spec book has information about the Section 3. They always put this out for bid for potential Section 3 businesses. That's part of how they bid it. And anybody who's looking for work that is a Section 3 resident, they have to be given opportunity to apply if they're, qualified to do the work and so on and so forth. So what we do is when they hire this person, we make it known that they have to fill out paperwork about all their employees that are working on this project. And they're trying to capture Section 3 workers at the state. So it's a simple form they fill out. We go over all of it with them at the pre-construction conference. And the city, y'all don't have to really do anything. I mean, it's your responsibility to make sure it's done, but we make sure it's done. That's why you hired us. So all that paperwork will be in their packet, and we have everything that we pass on to the engineer to put in their packet, so.
Okay.
I know it's complicated because it's all about low-income people and getting them jobs, people that are out of work. We post sign. Also, City Hall will be given one to post when this project starts that says if there's a job opening that, they will look at Section 3 persons to fill the position.
That's cool. Okay. So do we need a motion, Janet, on this, or just?
It's just a presentation. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer, but it's just part of the process. It has to be presented to council so that you're aware, and, part of the minutes that it was presented.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Look forward to working with the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
6C is discuss and or take action to authorize Mundo and Associates to proceed with Phase 2 of the Multipurpose Community Center project. Well, we've talked to Mundo and his group, and we've decided to go forward with Phase 2. And if you have any questions, you can ask him. And he's here present tonight.
And Phase 2 is the design, correct?
Yes.
Good evening. The question, Phase 2, is the design? Yes, that's correct. And the very first activity we'll have is to update the current construction costs for the type of facility that you want and essentially back that into the available budget, and that'll establish an available size, and then work with you all in workshops on the floor plan for that size facility. So that's where we'll start tonight, tomorrow, yesterday.
So how long do you think that will take?
We should be complete with the product ready for bidding by the end of the year. This first step, I would hope to be able to come back to you within, let's say whenever your August workshop is, if you're going to have one in August, would try to target to have information for you at that point. And certainly before then, we would provide information to Janet and Mike Howe, I think he was coordinating for you all. We'd provide info in whatever manner that Janet directed.
Okay.
And really, in all fairness, we would hope to be completed before the end of the year, but everybody's busy, and there's lots of specialty consultants on our team: electrical, structural, foundation, plumbing, plumbing, mechanical, irrigation, accessibility. I mean, there's a lot of different categories, and Everybody is busy. And that's good news, and it's bad news when you're trying to find somebody to help you, so.
Yeah.
But we're pushing, and we have a team together, so that's our target.
Okay. Anyone have any questions?
I'd just like to comment for the audience here and out on TV land that this will be a new facility located tentatively west of the police department. The existing pavilion will not be touched. The city hall will not be moved. This will be a new standalone structure that we're trying to get an estimate of what the costs are going to be. We don't know, given the uncertainties of cost. This is what we're trying to do, is to narrow this down to see how much square footage we can really put there. Thank you.
I'm
Okay.
excited for you to get started.
Am too, that's why I asked. I'm going to take you. Okay, I need a motion to authorize Moondone Associates to proceed.
Foster moves to take action to authorize Moondone Associates to proceed with Phase 2 of the Multipurpose Community Center project.
Evans, second. We got a motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes. 6D, discuss and/or take action to authorize Councilman Foster to work with GBC grant writer Mike Howell to draft a proposal for grant opportunity by the Rotary Club of Cedar Creek Lake.
Just background on this project, we have been approached about funding becoming available through our local Rotary Club of Cedar Creek Lake that we might apply for. And I've talked to Mike about it, and I think we see an excellent opportunity here to put together a proposal that would hopefully be competitive with others that we might be competing against to get a small grant from the Rotary and hopefully a match later on from the city. And basically what we're really looking for is something on the order of improving the quality of life for animals that are being held here at the city park for a short-term duration. And we'll be working on a proposal in order to make that happen. It's due to Rotary, I believe, sometime in late September.
Any questions? Discussion? Okay, I'll need a motion to approve Foster to work on this.
Key moves to discuss or take action to authorize Councilman Foster to work with the Gun Barrel City grant writer Mike Howell to draft a proposal for a grant opportunity by the Rotary Club of Cedar Creek Lake.
Second?
We've got a motion and a second. We have vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes. Okay, let's go back to Section 2, new businesses. I have one speaker, Lana Ayers. Should I speak on this item?
I'd like to ask, is it ethical? I'm just kidding. I am here about the ethics policy, though. I see the improvement in it having some instructions on who to submit it to and some of the items that it should have included. But there are a few things that are missing. So I did submit a complaint with citations and evidence, and it looked vaguely like my item was on the agenda, but I didn't receive any information following the meeting. And I put a lot of work into my complaint, and I just got nothing back. So that's kind of frustrating as a citizen to not get that feedback. We'd like to know what the consequences are for violating the ethics code. I don't see that in there. And the charter leaves it up to you guys to determine consequences. And again, I got no information. And we want public accountability. The people as a whole want to know what the consequences are. We want to know that you are holding each other accountable. Also, item 14, it says that revealing executive session communications is an ethics violation, but it is also a legal violation of the Open Meetings Act, and violations should be reported to the Texas Attorney General. So by not including that in the ethics policy, it sort of appears like y'all are trying to get away from having legal recourse for violations of the law. I have some suggestions to improve it. The policy, for one, should include employees too. We're told that in this 3 minutes, we're not supposed to say things about employees. So the people need a way to voice concerns about employees and their activities. I also want to suggest an online form for submissions. That way the required information like name and address, what happened, how they can resolve it, can easily be filled out. It just makes it a little easier for citizens. And I had shared, Maybank ISD has a 3-part complaint process. The first step really allows the person who the complaint's filed against to give an official response. And if the complainant is not happy with that, then they can go to level 2, which is a little bit higher. I want to suggest doing something like that. If you guys have an influx of complaints, it's difficult to handle large quantities of those, especially if they can be resolved at a lower level. We don't need more work for y'all. I'm happy to help with this. I can help make forms and that sort of thing, and I'd be happy to send you the Maybank ISD policy and how it works. It's very detailed. They've done a great job. I also want to suggest, this is a different item number, but I want to suggest Ken Foster to work with the Animal Advisory Committee. I work with a lot of animal advocates doing surgery days at HSCCL, and everyone respects Mr. Foster, and the role of the council member is to represent what council knows and how they can help and what they can do. And so I think he would be an asset. Also, on my post on Facebook, we were discussing Brookshire's coming to Gun Barrel, and it had 5,000 views on the Citizens Watch group alone, and thousands on the places it was shared, and hundreds of comments. So I hope that you will address that.
Long over.
Does anyone have any questions?
No, your 3 minutes are up.
Okay.
And thank you. 2A, discuss and or take action to adopt resolution number R 2023-011, repealing resolution number R 2023-002, and establishing a code of ethics with complaint procedures. We've worked on this with the attorney, and I don't think everyone up here is happy with the way it's written, so do we want to pass this or table it?
Foster recommends that we table item 2A for now.
Okay, do I have a second?
I second that. Key seconds.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second, so we can table 2A, discuss and take action to adopt it. We won't adopt this one. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Okay. 2B, discuss and or take action to adopt ordinance number 2023-010, repealing section 130.33 juvenile curfew per House Bill 1819. So I need a motion to discuss. I'll make a motion to discuss ordinance number 2023-010.
Second.
This ordinance is being repealed by the state. We don't have any choice on this one. We have the chief here tonight. Do you want to speak on that, if it will have any bearing on you, the juvenile curfew been repealed?
No, it's not going to have any bearing on us. I mean, the state is the one that ordered that, so we
Yeah.
don't have a choice but to eliminate that.
Okay. Ordinance number 2023-010. An ordinance of the City Council for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, repealing Section 130.30-130.33, juvenile curfew of the Gun Barrel City Code of Ordinance, providing a severity clause and providing an effective date. Do we have an motion to accept the ordinance?
I move that, did Foster move that we accept ordinance number 00203-010?
Evans seconds. Got a motion, second. Do I have a vote from my left?
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Lost, yes.
Okay, motion passed. 2C, discuss and or take action to remove Richard Yaws from the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee and appoint an acting city council member. Well, we just need to, I had asked for volunteers earlier, and we had a volunteer. So we need a motion to discuss this, to open up the discussion.
Burns makes a motion that we discuss removing Richard Draws from the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee and appointing an active sitting council member.
Evans, second. So, does anyone have a motion or anyone want to volunteer?
When we had spoken about this previously, everyone but Mrs. Keys expressed that they did not have the time to take this on. And so I'm happy for Ms. Keys to be involved in the Animal Advisory Committee.
Okay, do you want to make a motion on that?
I make a motion that we appoint Councilmember Keys to the Animal Shelter Advisory Committee.
Second?
Motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Lost, yes.
2D, discuss and or take action to make appointments to the Charter Review Committee. I need a motion to open discussion or make appointments.
Key makes a motion to discuss or take action to make appointments to the Charter Review Committee.
Okay, about every 4 years, we review the city charter, and the council is responsible for picking two citizens, to be on the committee. So tonight, we'll pick our citizens for our Charter Review Committee. So, April, who do you choose?
I choose Verna Lance and Matt Rawls.
Okay, I am choosing Kathy Cochran, who's been on the Charter Review Committee before, and also City Council, and Sue Alexander, who is Patsy Black's daughter.
And I unfortunately don't have any names. I was not able to get anyone to commit to this committee.
Okay.
And I'm in the same position.
Really?
I recommend Gary Damiano and Laura Young.
You're breathing. No. Kathy? No? Okay, we will appoint those tonight, and then we can come back later, or you all can talk to Janet. Okay.
Clarification, does everybody need to have two each?
Well, yeah, 10.
Okay.
I did, I say to mine. Oh, okay. Mine was Verna Lance and Matt Rawls. Rawls, R-A-W-L-S.
I'll read it. Got it.
Okay. Okay. So you made 6 appointments tonight, and then the others can,
I will
No.
continue reaching out.
okay, that's good. Okay, do we need a motion? Discuss and I make a motion to seat the 6 members that we appointed tonight to the Charter Review Committee.
Second?
Got a motion and a second. A vote from the left.
Burns, yes?
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Lost, yes.
2E, discuss and or take action to consider a request from Brookshire Grocery Company for future development to be located at 915 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, for a variance to the 2015 International Energy Conservative Code, Chapter 4, Section C402.2 and C405.2.3.3. So I need a motion to open discussion. I'll make a motion to discuss the request from Brookshire Grocery Company for a variance.
Second?
Okay. Do you all have any questions, or have you got your questions answered?
My questions are answered, yes, ma'am.
Do you all have any? Mundo, I think, is here. He could probably tell you if you have any questions about energy conservation.
I think we have a representative from Berkshire's is here as well.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Hello, I'm Irma Maves. I'm the Architectural Services Manager with Brookshire's Grocery Company, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you all have.
So you do not want skylights, but instead will have electrical?
Yes, we've built with skylights in the past. They become more of a maintenance nightmare and cause more issues than anything else. We already designed the building with all LED lighting, with lighting controls, so we're not wasting any energy to that fact. So.
Okay.
What about hail damage? Is that something you could look at in terms of skylights on a large building like that, or is that ever a problem?
You know, I don't know if we particularly had any, but I could foresee it being a problem. And with the recent amount of hail we've been having, I would assume it would be.
Foster had moved to grant the variance request from Brookshire Grocery Company for a variance to the 2015 International Energy Conservation Code, Chapter 4.
Evans, second. We've got a motion and a second. We've got a vote from the left.
Burns, yes?
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Lost, yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, planning and zoning, we've got a public hearing on request to replat lots 46 and 47 in the Harbor Point subdivision belonging to Christy Smith, physically located at 240 Skiff Drive, Gun Barrel City, Texas, and to Lot 1, 46R. We open the public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on that item?
She's here.
Huh?
She's here. Just raise your
Okay,
hand.
you want to speak?
Hi, my name is Christy Smith. I live at 240 Skiff Drive, and I'm trying to get approval to replat my two properties together to build my mother and father a mother-in-law suite. They're 80 years old, and I'm having to take care of them. So I'm trying to replat my empty property to one property so I can move them down here with me. They live in Kaufman. Been at their home for 63 years in the same home, so it's going to be a hard move for them.
Yes, it will be.
Yeah. Just make it easier on all of us, me having to travel every day to go take care of them.
Yeah. Okay.
And as one who has lost her parents, it's that you get to take care of them. It really
Yes.
is a blessing for you.
Yes,
It's a lot
it
of
is.
work, but it's
I
a
cherish
blessing.
it every day. It's something different every day.
Okay, is there any other questions?
It's going to be a mother-in-law suite. It's going to be attached with the breezeway. Okay. Yes.
Okay, so it's attached to your existing home?
I'm sorry?
It is an attachment to your existing home?
Yes, it'll be attached with the breezeway from the back of our house to the lot. I have the floor plans already if anybody wants to look at them.
Foster moves to,
That's just a public
Wait,
hearing.
that's just a
sorry?
public hearing.
I'm sorry.
okay.
And 3B is discuss and or take action to consider approving a request to replat lots 46 and 47 in the Harbor Point subdivision belonging to Christy Smith, physically located at 240 Skiff Drive, Gun Barrel City, Texas, into one lot, Lot 46R.
Foster moves to consider approving a request to replat lots 46 and 47 of the Harbor Point subdivision belonging to Christy Smith, physically located at 240 Skiff Drive, Gun Barrel City, into one lot, Lot 46R.
Evans, second. We have a motion and a second. We have a vote from my left.
Burns, yes?
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
We have another public hearing on request to replat lots 2 and Lot 8 in Heritage Cove belonging to Rising Star Enterprises LLC, physically located at 1690 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 2R and Lot 8R. Anyone here to speak on the Rising Star Enterprise?
Good evening. My name is Jorge Peña. I'm representing Rising Star Enterprises. This is pretty straightforward. One of these lots is the corner lot on Heritage Parkway where the Golden Chick is. And the next lot on Heritage Parkway is the one we need to replat. That lot is shaped like a T-bone steak with a large part on the lake and the narrow end on Heritage Parkway. The narrow edge is 20 feet wide, which is not very wide for a piece of land.
Right.
Unfortunately, it has a hydrant, a water hydrant, in the middle of those 20 feet. So it's not very sellable, and it's not very usable. What we're trying to do is move some land from the corner lot to the second lot to make it wider and therefore more appealing. We do have a potential use for that land within the Heritage Cove ideal of having an entertainment, food, restaurant area. And we do have a potential buyer for that lot, provided it's wide enough to get into. So that's why you're asking for the replat.
Okay.
And you said it is lakefront, right?
Yeah, one of them is lakefront,
And-
by the bridge, beyond the bridge, behind Domino Pizza.
Okay. I didn't realize the lake came up there.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
I didn't realize that the lake came up and there was a finger of the lake
it
back
goes under
there.
the bridge and comes up there.
Okay.
I don't know if that's exactly the bridge or a creek or a lake, but whatever that is.
Are you talking about Lake Jackson Restaurant, that area in there? Is that where you're talking?
Right. It would
In
be.
the hotel?
This is the land between the Domino's Pizza
Okay, yeah.
and the Golden Chick and the Lake Jackson.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any more questions? I can close the public hearing. Discuss and or take action to consider a request to replat lots 2 and Lot 8 in Heritage Cove belonging to Rising Star Enterprises LLC, physically located at 1690 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 2R and Lot 8R. Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
Jacobs moves to approve the replot of Lot 2 and Lot 8 in Heritage Cove belonging to Rising Star Enterprises LLC, physically located at 1690 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, into two lots, Lot 2R and Lot 8R.
Key second.
Got a motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes?
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes. Okay. Into economic development now. First reading of Resolution R 2023-012, approving a loan agreement project to Gun Barrel Transmission in an amount not to exceed $300,000. Resolution R 2023-012, a resolution of the City of Gun Barrel City approving a loan agreement and project by and between Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation and Gun Barrel Transmission, Inc., a domestic for-profit corporation, to provide financial assistance in an amount not to exceed $300,000 for economic development purposes and providing for an immediate effective date. And it's just a first reading, so there's no vote needed and no discussion, or I guess you could discuss, but usually it's not. 4B, discuss and or take action to accept a budget reallocation for the EDC budget from Business Expo to West Main Street sidewalk repair and maintenance in an amount not to exceed $5,000. Okay. Do I have a motion to discuss this? Open up.
Foster moves to discuss, to accept a budget reallocation for the EDC budget from Business Expo to West Main Street sidewalk repair and maintenance is an amount not to exceed $5,000.
Key second.
Motion. Is there anyone here to speak for it, Robin, or do you want to speak on it, or any questions here?
Hello, thank you, members of the City Council. This is a request because the Business Expo has been canceled and has not returned since COVID, and this is a great opportunity for us to help with some sidewalk repairs that are sorely needed. We're a senior community, and there are several people who use a scooter to go up and down Main Street, and there's just become some disrepair. So we thought this would be a way for us to assist, and Main Street is our main location of business interaction here.
Anyone have any questions, discussions? I'll accept a motion to accept this.
Foster moves to accept a budget reallocation for the EDC budget from Business Expo to West Main Street sidewalk repair and maintenance in an amount not to exceed $5,000.
Evans seconds. Got a motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next section is election. Discuss and or take action to adopt ordinance number 0-2023.011, ordering a special election to be held on November 7, 2023, for the purpose of filling the vacant position of mayor. I'll make a motion to discuss and adopt ordinance number 0-2023-011. An ordinance of the City Council for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, ordering an election, a special election, to be held in the City of Gun Barrel City on November 7th, 23, for the purpose of filling the vacant position of mayor of the City of Gun Barrel City. Do I have a motion and a second to adopt it?
Foster moves to adopt ordinance number 0-2023-011.
Evans seconds. Got a motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Foster, yes.
Motion passes. Discuss and or take action to adopt ordinance number 0-2023-013, ordering a special election on November 7th, 2023, for the purpose of providing an opportunity for citizens to vote for or against the adoption of a resolution approving a loan agreement and project by and between Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation and YNS Services, LLC, to provide financial assistance in an amount not to exceed $500,000. Ordinance dash 2023-013, an ordinance of the city an ordinance of the City Council for the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, ordering a special election to be held in the city of Gun Barrel City, Texas on November 7th, 2023, for the purpose of providing an opportunity for citizens to vote for or against the adoption of a resolution approving a loan agreement and project by and between the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation and YNS Services, LLC, a Texas limited liability company, to provide financial assistance in an amount not to exceed $500,000 for economic development purposes and providing for an immediate effective date. I think this is just a formality. Am I wrong, Janet? This is just what we do to have a special election on this?
Correct. Yeah, the ordinance lays out the date, all the guts of the election.
Okay.
Foster moves to adopt ordinance number 02023-013.
Evans seconds. Got a motion and a second. Vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Lost, yes.
Okay. 5C, discuss and or take action to approve an interlocal agreement with Henderson County to conduct the city's November 7th, 2023 special election. So, I make a motion that we discuss to approve an interlocal agreement with Henderson County.
Burns, Key, second.
Anyone have any questions with to the interim city managers? I think it's just an agreement that they'll conduct our election. Is that right, Janet?
That's correct. The estimate for the special election is just under $3,000. That cost may go down because it is divided with Henderson County and multiple entities around the city, or around the lake.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve the agreement?
Jacobs moves to approve an interlocal agreement with Henderson County to conduct the city's November 7th, 2023 special election.
Second.
Foster seconds. We've got a motion and a second. Got a vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Lost, yes.
Motion passes. Okay, we've done section 6, and that was the grants. I think it's time to go into executive session. I think. Now we're, section 7, executive session. We're going to convene into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.074, personnel matters to discuss the position of city manager, section 551-071, consultation with attorney to discuss illegal annexation, and it's 7:30. Okay, convene into executive session. at 7:45 to take any action necessary as a result of the executive session. Having any motions?
Burns makes a motion that we advertise for the city manager job.
Evans, second. Any discussion? Motion from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Yes.
Boss, yes.
Okay, and then consultation with attorney. There is no action on that one at all, on the illegal annexation. So do I have a motion to adjourn?
Key makes a motion to adjourn.
Evans, second. Motion from my left, vote from my left.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Key, yes.
Boss, yes.